After several days at the reception battalion, we all thought arriving at our basic training company would be fun. But we quickly realized our work was just beginning. We knew basic training would be tough, but with the help of our buddies, we knew we could make it through the 8 weeks of training. We wondered if the drill sergeants were for real. Once we were in the company, there was no question in our minds who was in charge. Our drill sergeants really kept us in line. Our whole world for the next 8 weeks was our company area. Drill and ceremony was the first step in our Army training. It taught us the basics of marching, saluting, and movements with the M16 rifle. Good thing the rifles were not loaded. Right face, left face, and about face were movements we could do without thinking after many hours of practice. Learning the rifle movements was much more difficult than marching. At first, we thought we had 2 left feet because our drill sergeant was always yelling, "Your other left." We practiced marching with column right, column left, and counter columns so many times, we thought we would never make a mistake again. We started to feel more like soldiers all the time. Standing tall and looking good. We ought to be in Hollywood. With our days starting at 4:30 in the morning, we now understand what the TV commercial meant when it said, "The Army gets more done before 9 a.m. than most people do in a day." It was exciting for us to be a part of the drill competition to see which platoon marched the best. We just knew our platoon would win. Negotiating the Fit to Win course really brought the platoon together. We tried our best to run the 400-meter course in record time.
Alternate, Pop. Don't go too fast. Let's go, Raiders. Got this. They got all the features once again.
The course taught us physical skills, coordination, and confidence. We learned quickly how to overcome the many obstacles on the course: low crawl, under wires, climbing, high step, and cliff jumping. We kept thinking with each new obstacle that we came to that it had to be the most difficult. But then, the next one made us think the same thing. Each obstacle presented a new challenge, but the course was exciting. The drill sergeants were looking out for us on the step over. By them making us keep our hands behind our head, it helped increase our balance. It did make negotiating the obstacles more difficult, but at least no chance for splinters. We were all exhausted after Fit to Win. The 20-obstacle course tested our endurance and strength. We were all scared at Victory Tower, but we would not let our drill sergeant see that. Victory Tower was a new experience for all of us. The feeling of actually being on the tower is just something that cannot be put into words. Victory Tower taught us confidence, aggressiveness, and teamwork. We negotiated up a 3-rope bridge that was 25 feet above the ground. Then slid down a 1-rope bridge, climbed up again on a 2-rope bridge, and climbed back down on a cargo net.
Hey, 20 feet, start walking on. Hurry up.
We kept thinking, it's just me, this rope, and gravity.
Pull, private!
With each step, we were getting closer to the finish. We were anxious to be through with this event. The phrase, "be all you can be," came to mind many times during this phase of the training. Once we got the feel of the ropes and balancing, it really was not too bad. And the safety nets helped to eliminate many of the fears. The drill sergeants taught us how to tie a Swiss seat. Then we had to climb a 40-foot ladder to the highest part of the tower and swing across the large opening on a rope. Going up the tower was easy. Coming down was the real challenge. The drill sergeants hooked up the rappelling ropes to the Swiss seat, and then we rappelled down a 40-foot wall. Once we did all that, our fears were over. In fact, we wanted to try it again. The gas chamber taught us the effects of chemical warfare by using CS gas. The 2 minutes we had to stay in the chamber with the N17A1 protective mask on seemed more like 2 hours. Once the seal on the protective mask was broken, we really felt the full effects of the CS gas. The gas was only supposed to make us cry, but the effects were a lot worse. It was okay going in, but then we had to come out. We were glad we only had to go through this once in basic training. It was difficult to clear the gas from the mask, reseal it, then remove the mask and exit the chamber. Even the drill sergeants in the area could feel the effect of the gas when the chamber doors opened. This was one time when we were glad the drill sergeants kept yelling at us. By yelling, "Open your eyes and keep your hands out," helped us recover quicker from the gas. They knew if we rubbed our eyes, they would burn even worse. Even with all the instructions we received, it was hard to imagine what the full effect of the gas would be. The smell of the gas is an odor none of us will ever forget. Those soldiers waiting on the outside of the chamber laughed at those coming out, but their turn was yet to come. Shooting the M16 rifle in full combat gear was difficult. Record fire made all the practicing we did with the rifles worthwhile. I really wanted to be a Hawkeye and hit all 40 targets. To be classified as an expert shooter, we had to hit between 36 and 40 targets. A sharpshooter hits between 30 and 35 targets, and a marksman hits between 23 and 29 targets. The 40 rounds were shot from distances of 50 to 300 meters. 20 were shot from a foxhole, and 20 from the prone position. We had to remember, breathe, relax, aim, center mass, then squeeze the trigger. After basic rifle marksmanship, we understood the difference between a gun and a weapon. We all hoped our weapons would not jam on qualification day. Getting the qualification badges really made our training worthwhile and put us one step closer to graduation. The night infiltration course was spectacular. Live ammunition was going off within 5 feet of us while we maneuvered the 200-meter obstacle course. Crawling over and under logs and wire at night was different from any training we had experienced before. The overhead machine gun fire made us really feel like we were in combat. The Super Bowl tested all of the common task skills we learned in our 7 weeks of basic training. There was a lot of information to remember. We really had to work hard to remember how to do the training in sequence. Setting up the Claymore mine made us feel like we were stars in a James Bond movie.
Shot group number 1. Write it on that little 0 card in front of you. Give me the verbal correction, and then show me how to place it on the weapon. Utilize that little bullet in front of you. Talk out, Private.
After passing the Super Bowl, we knew we were being all that we can be.
Country, a code of conduct and chivalry of those who guard this beloved land, an ideal so noble that it arouses a sense of pride and yet humility, an expression of the ethics of the American man at arms. Duty, honor, country. The unbelievers will say they are but words, a slogan, or a flamboyant phrase. Every demagogue, every cynic, and every hypocrite will try to downgrade them to the extent of mockery and ridicule. The code which those words perpetuate embraces the highest moral law and will stand the test of any ethics or philosophy ever published for the uplift of mankind. Around 1,000 campfires on 100 battlefields, listening for the witching melody of